Wait, we're doing an interview.
They're laughing at me.
Thank you.
I've always been a massive dreamer and someone that's just like, I'll see something and not only will I want to do it, I want to do like that end thing. Like I think there's usually a natural progression. Like you start to run and then maybe you do a longer one and then here I am like watching a doc. I'm like, oh, I could run around the world. Like it's just been, since I've been a child, there's just been no interest in middle. Like anything about normal or middle, it's just never interested me. It's day 4 on the Australian Alps walking track. Didn't realise it was going to be this solo. Like I want to highline over like an amazing place up in the sky. I want to have a big view. Like my mind's gone to the most curious and crazy places. Survived another night, but again was scared. The first 2 nights I didn't sleep at all. The first night I woke up with spiders crawling on me. When you're following something that doesn't make sense, it's really hard to even have anyone understand. Like I find it really challenging to say like what I do for work and where I live.
Yeah, let's go. Makes me want to quit my job and just go explore.
You know, I was crying in happiness of just how proud I am for the person that pushed through so much pain all those years ago to be able to experience what I get to experience now. I'm bleeding.
Now you're going to turn to an exposure and check out the sunrise.
I don't really know where it came from, but I was just a really curious kid. And like I was really fascinated with what was around me. And I used to like beg my parents to sleep outside and sleep on the trampoline and under the trampoline. I wanted to sleep on the roof.
I think the most common spot you'd find her sleeping would be on her Lila in her pool at home. Like she's been known to just fall asleep on it for hours. And her parents they just won't know where she is but then just find her on her Lila outside.
I'd sleep under my bed, like sometimes my parents would find me under the bed or I'd have like my legs in the splits. Anything of height or near the edge or somewhere different or where people weren't, that's where I wanted to be. I didn't care, like it's what I loved. Like if I wanted to catch leaves from the tree, I would. If I wanted to do handstands, I would. If I wanted to slack line and balance, like I genuinely didn't care and I felt really free. But I think as I was starting to hit high school and everyone's starting to go out drinking and care what they look like and going down that path, that's when I was really having this conflicting feeling of, well, I'm not willing to let go of like the curiosity that I have, but I know following that means I'm not going to be fitting in with my peers. And I had this just push and pull, and I think I ended up kind of giving in to peer pressure and really changing who I was to be like everyone else. And I think that's when I really started to go off a path that I wasn't happy with. It's so scary. It's even hard to take myself back into that place because it's such a different frame of mind and it's a person I don't even recognise. Like I was so angry and so like completely lost. Like I was hollow and there was nothing. I didn't see any, I was in so much pain I just didn't see any way out of it. And I didn't think there was. And I really had a moment where I was in there seeing people who were 40 and 50 in the same position that I was, and I kind of thought that was my fate. Like, I'd surrendered to the fact that nothing else could change and there was no more to life. And I think at that point, I mean, why do you keep trying? I had a friend who I was in hospital with who unfortunately passed away, and I think at that point I really realised just how serious this was and that how much it would mean to her to get better. And that was a really big driving factor. And I think this is like when it really meant the most, when I was really struggling, and just before I started to recover, having messages of like love and kindness from friends and their parents and from people in hospital, that really hit a spot to know that there's more to life. Like, I think it just went to such a place that I knew there had to be more. If I was doing okay on weekends, we'd go down to a place called Alfred Nicholas Gardens, and it's this most magic little like lake with gorgeous trees, and there was just something that made me feel like there's something bigger out there. There's like a greater meaning, a bigger purpose, like there's more to life than being in this. And whatever it was, I felt really connected to that. I'm like, I know there's something. I know there's something past what I'm feeling, and there's something in nature that just makes me feel completely like carefree of all judgment and opinions, and like that's where I really find myself. I did a snow season, and during the lockdown looked for work around the area and happened to find a place in Bright. I hadn't even heard of it before rocking up to my first shift, so didn't even know what the town was, and slowly just found the magic of this place. Like, there's just no limits. There's just the most amazing community of people that is so outgoing and active and down to earth, and yeah, every time I've tried to leave, it's just a magnet. It keeps pulling me back. I think going through what I went through taught me a lot about going after it even when you can't see the clear answer ahead. And like, it was so scary having to choose recovery when that didn't feel possible, when it was like the hard option when I didn't want to, and having to trust in something outside of myself, hearing that it's possible. And I think like having the courage to recover, I think, has translated to having the courage to go out and find my own adventure and find my own way of doing it. Like, I feel like I've fostered the resilience from what I went through. As the sun is setting. I was definitely like getting a bit stressed when I didn't need to be. It's just such like a beautiful thing where you like actually just need to like calm and focus and like relax. And yeah, that was a really fun climb. I'm bleeding. This makes it so worth it with a view like this. Yeah, it's really interesting. I think when I come up from Melbourne and Bright, it's chaos and calm at the same time, but I pretty much just have everything in my car and never really know what's going to go. Like, I pretty much commit to the fact that it's going to be a pretty wild time where, you know, it might be a few days at a time where I'm out of my car, out of a tent, or just out of the bag that I've been in. And yeah, jumping from friends' couches to like the next thing, it's pretty go, go, go. And because I am going between Melbourne and Bright so often, or like Bright and somewhere else, I've never really committed to being in a rental, or I move so much that that just doesn't feel right. So it's been pretty much having whatever is on me is all I kind of feel I'm gonna have. So at the moment, like I've got my snowboard, I've got my snowshoes, I've got climbing gear, my slackline, roller skates, my art gear. I've kind of got everything ready for anything. Yeah.
So you're sleeping here?
Yeah, the seats fold down and mattress fits in. I have slept in the passenger seat, which is not so comfortable.
You'd think you'd get a van or something.
I know, I probably should. But can I quickly show you this?
Yeah.
Not camera, but so me and Dagan were at the snow in Jindy.
Yeah.
And slept in our cars. And I had too much of my gear in the back, so I slept in the passenger seat. And so I started like this, and I was getting like really, really sore, and I just couldn't. I ended up sleeping like this. Yeah, we didn't sleep well. That feels higher.
Yeah, and now tighten it on your feet.
When people ask like, what's your job and where do you live? I'm like, this is impossible, but it's like this one driving question I've always been trying to understand. I've always felt the feeling of what I want to be doing, but I've never been able to be like, oh, there's a job title for it. Like nothing's ever fit.
That very the last time I was here was when I finished the hike. This is really special to be here. This is so cool.
How long ago was that now? A couple months?
Yeah, end of December. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Like, it can easily be like taken off path when I start to think of other people's opinions or what I should be doing, and it's this feeling of like something doesn't feel quite right. And I just know that when I go to solitude, I recenter. So I find it hard because my true north is extremely strong and I feel very like true to it, but it doesn't have words. So when people are asking like, what are you doing or what do you want to do next? And this has been for years, I've never been able to say it and people put words in my mouth, but I just know the feeling, and it's just about connecting everything together. But that true north is something, it's a feeling. Yeah. I'm not sure what it was, but as soon as I came to realise that I wanted to do like a self-propelled expedition, I just knew that's exactly what it was that I needed at the time to keep learning about myself, but also have a platform and opportunity to spread what I stood for.
On the 7th of December, I will be embarking on a 300-kilometre journey from Kosciuszko down to Bright along the Australian Alps walking track to raise awareness and funds for Eating Disorder Families Australia. Looking after our own mental health and well-being couldn't be any more important than it is right now, and you can follow along to watch the journey unfold. It's been over 80 hours since I saw someone last, and I'm just really tired and exhausted. I'm honestly really scared. There's no track ahead of me. A storm is rolling in. Not cool. Being able to do things solo, I think, has really given me that sense of like I am capable and I am enough. And it's also just taught me so much about myself. Like it's where I find clarity and direction. And I think that, like all those things together, is what gives me the confidence to go out into the world the way I do. Ready for the next section ahead. I'm making tracks again, but I can't find the track. Made it to Oatmeal Highway, baby! I'm just so excited. This is the last couple days, the last push, and we've made it home. I had a really strong calling going through what I've gone through with the eating disorder to help other people. Like I've seen where the gaps are, I've seen where the systems are failing, and how we can really help with being out in nature and the things that help for mental health, that I just knew if I took those steps, I feel like others could take those steps as well. And if I could show that anything's possible, not only to like get better, but to live a life you love, like I want to be able to spread that.
What do you think of your first overnight hiking experience.
I'm loving it. It's so
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I know what I'll bring a better mat next time. I'm just learning as I go.
And not bring a huge sleeping bag in the
Yeah, and definitely
Okay.
baby wipes. I feel really gross, but I'm trying to embrace it.
yeah.
It's
Oh my
just so powerful to watch everyone transform and see what I know that I've got from nature happen to other people. On their first overnight, I knew for one of the girls just how scared and daunted she was before and afraid, and just seeing her through the journey of an overnight hike let go and open up and have these conversations. It was so powerful and so beautiful to see that happen.
Great getting to know you, because if I didn't put myself out there and meet new people who are doing different things, I would have just stuck within what my family know is safe and wouldn't have ventured out of that.
Yeah, and it's
been important.
100. The only reason I think I can do this is because of the community, especially being up here. No one doubts anything, like they've all done it themselves. It's just so amazing to see everyone connect. Like, I haven't met a few of the people on this trip, and each other I know haven't met anyone else, and it's just like everyone's open for conversation, everyone's vulnerable, everyone's helping each other out when they were strangers just the day before. Like, it's so beautiful. And like, this is absolutely my calling. Like, I've never felt something more like genuine and authentic, being able to like have connections like this and be a part of other people's journeys. Like, it's such an amazing transformation of people stepping into the unknown and outside their comfort zone, and I want to be more a part of that.
After years of countless conversations about, I guess, the direction of like she's going in life and what she's doing, and now to just see like it all kind of makes sense and the dots connect.
If you've found a love for what you do, like, that's what everyone's searching for. And people search through like partying and drugs, and people search for it through fame and success and trying to be someone. Like, they're trying to find that thing that brings them joy, and when you find it, like, that's the precious gift that you have. Like, you don't need to be proving or showing anyone. Like, you get to just like be in it, and I think I've found that. I fought so hard to be able to be here today that I'm not going to waste it living someone else's life. Like, that's just not an option. Like, I've worked so hard to have these breaths here that I'm not going to be doing something that's not true to myself. So. I can't believe the places and things I've seen that really just make me completely in awe of life. It's just left me speechless. I love nature.
Crushed it.
Epic. Woo.